Hello and welcome to this edition of A Conversation With. I'm Jim Marshall of the New Bedford Cable Network, and joining us in studio today is Valerie Killduff. She is the project manager for the Route 195, Route 18 rehabilitation project. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Such a big project in the city, and I know obviously a lot of people have questions, and you're dealing with that every day probably. But again, thanks for coming in, because this is a big deal, and it's good. Ultimately, it's good for the city to get this project done. So we're sitting here as we record the show in November. You started right on time back in the spring, getting stuff done. Kind of just give us an overview right now of how the project is doing. People see things, but I don't think people know what's going on. But just the overall assessment, how things are going.
So the project is actually right on time. The contractor has a 5-year window to get this done, but so far so good. We're right on schedule. We just got the 75% design package done. So this job is a design build project, which is a way for MassDOT to do projects quicker. So what happens is we do start some construction early, some things that we can do early, maybe some utilities to get them out of the way while we're designing the project. So this project went out as just a 25% design, a little more than 25%, because we really have to give the contractor a design that they can build. So it's more than what we would consider a typical 25% design. But then they take the project from there and they design the project to 100% while they're working on it. They don't do any construction that's not already accepted by MassDOT, so they don't put up a structure that we haven't agreed to or approved, accepted. Make sure that obviously it's something that's viable. But it helps us in moving the project along, because design takes a long time typically. Usually with a design build project, we're done with design in about a year. And we also allow them to release early parts of the project. So we look at those ahead of time. We make sure that everything's good, design is good, calculations are good, all of that. And we allow them to proceed with that piece of the project. So it gets done in kind of piecemeal, but we also, like I said, get a full 100% design for the entire project within the year.
So, what prompted the project to take place in the first place? I mean, people have gone over that road so many times in their lives and what have you. Just time?
Yeah, part of it was just time. Bridges have a design life cycle. We used to design to like 50 years. Now we're designing to 75 to 100 years is what we're looking at. But along the way, you're always going to have repairs to do.
Yeah.
Pavement wears, joints, especially in a steel bridge, those are going to wear. You're going to have to do repairs. So when we started looking at this job, actually they started looking at this project back in 2012. When we originally started with the project, we were looking at just a superstructure replacement, so we would leave the substructure in place, like the abutments and the walls and all of that. But as the time went on, while we were continuing to do our assessment on the project and do the inspections, we just realized that the repairs that we would have had to do to the substructure were too much, and so we decided to look at the whole thing. So when we decided to look at the whole thing, now, because of the cost and the nature of the project, we now have to do a value engineering study.
So you have to weigh too, like when you were talking about maybe repair or what have you, the long-term cost and how long it would last versus,
yes,
it could cost more, but it's going to last longer.
Correct. So that's what the value engineering study does. So then we contract a third outside party that has not been part of the design to look at it and say, hey, are we doing the right project? Because we're spending a lot of money, so we want to make sure we're doing the right project. So that value engineering study came back and said, yes, this is the better option to do. So around 2018-19, we decided to move forward with doing the entire structure. And then in 22, as we're designing and we're moving along, And this project did get past a 25% design. It got almost to like what we consider sketch plans for the bridge. And that's kind of like the first stop before we get to 100%. In 22, we decided, hey, we've been working on this job for a long time, and the bridge is getting worse and worse, and we're doing a lot of repair to this thing. We need to move it along. So we decided to go design build with this job in 2022, and that's where we're at.
So how does MassDOT look at a project, like priority-wise? I'm curious because there's so many projects that you have on your plate. How do you say, we got to get this one right now?
There's a lot of things that they look at. One is cost. Mm-hmm. Two is the priority of the safety of the bridge.
Yeah.
And or any project we're doing. Like, you know, if it's a high crash area, if it's like I said, there's inspections that are going on, and our normal cycle on inspection we now have to increase because it's just getting an older, and it's just not getting, it's unsafe. And I don't want to say unsafe in a respect of it's structurally deficient. There are things that are going on. We would never leave a bridge up that's completely unsafe. We would close the bridge. And I actually work underwater bridge inspection also for MassDOT as a part-time diver. And so, you know, we've had instances where we go under there, we look, and we close the bridge immediately because it's not safe. So we want to make sure that that's the right job to do. Mm-hmm. And then it has to get programmed. So we have to make sure that the money that we have, and then we do have times where we will, because of the nature of something that's going on in that location, we have to remove a job that's, you know, already planted in our program and put this one in because we had an issue come up.
The interesting thing to me when I look at this particular project is you've got, obviously it's a very busy roadway, both Route 18 and 195. I mean, it's the main route to the Cape. It's, you know, and Route 18 is the main thoroughfare right along the city's waterfront. So there's a lot of activity there. But it's also, you've got houses there, you've got a school there, you've got, it's a very residential area too. Does that make the project more difficult because of the nature of what it is?
It just makes it a little different, yeah. We want to make sure that we're taking into consideration people's schedules. You know, can we do most of the work during the day? We try to limit the amount of night work that has to happen. Occasionally, in a situation like this, we do have to have night work because of the traffic. You know, we can't shut down the roadway in the middle of the day. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So we have to watch what we have to do for traffic. So in this job, there is going to be some night work. It's going to be very minimal. It won't be long spans of time. But yes, like working within a community like this, we have the school right there with the project. We tried to get a lot of the work that had to be done locally by the school roadways done as quick as we could before school started. You know, we're working to try to make sure that there's as much minimal disruption that we can have during those time frames for the kids, for the people that work and live there. We do contract documents that say, like, you know, always minimizing dust, minimizing like noise. We monitor that stuff. They have to come up with a plan that shows us that they're monitoring, and, you know, our residents have the right to shut down a project if they feel that, you know, the noise level's too high for this time of day or night. The dust is out of control. Like, we have rights to do that. We shut them down, and we'll take care of those kind of situations.
You were telling me off camera, interestingly enough, there's a lot of parties that you've been meeting with as you've gone through this project. I mean,
Yes.
City and neighborhoods, and you've really talked to a lot of people.
Yeah, we've tried to do a lot of outreach. We've had our public outreach firm, which is Howard Stein Hudson, and the contractor, D.W. White, in conjunction with them, go out and do pop-ups in locations. The school has been working with us to help us get information out to their public. We have a website that everybody can get on. We have an email address. We've been sending advisories out. We use our media, our social media. We also use all of the communications for the traffic, so Waze and Google and all of those things. We get them out alerts and stuff like that. We're trying our best. We are also doing translations. We do in Spanish, Portuguese, Cape Verdean Creole. We're trying.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we're trying.
And I noticed on the website too, you do have the different languages on there and stuff like that.
Yes.
When you talk about the scope of the project, I'll just run through a couple things too. Replacing the I-195 viaduct bridge structure from County Street until just beyond the Route 18, exit 15 of Cushing Ave interchange. Replacing deficient bridge piers and abutments. Replacing ramp bridges. Widening merge lanes and lengthening on and off ramps. Repairing local streets and adjacent sidewalk impacted by construction. And obviously, as you said, the school's right there and you're right underneath that, so that's significant there too. Repairing the parking lot below the structure where the school parked. Constructing new stormwater drainage system for DOT infrastructure. Constructing a noise barrier, and you mentioned that, for community benefit. Constructing a new landscape park, shared use path, and skate park below the interchange. There's a lot in this project, from start to finish.
Yes, we have a lot of, that's something MassDOT tries to do. If we're in an area, especially like this, like we're in an urban area, we're trying to do a bridge, we don't want to put up some ugly structure and not give back to the community. It's got to look a little good too, I mean, we're trying. So this job, one of the cities, we worked very closely with the city of New Bedford. The city engineering department has been, and they're included in all of our meetings, our construction meetings. We meet with them once a week. We have a construction meeting, and they are included in that. They're also doing a project of their own for their drainage, their CSO work. We're doing a piece of that because we're going to be in the location, so we have coordinated with their designer to make sure that the piece that we're going to do, just because it's just easier for us sometimes to do the work with the city, and then they'll connect to it with their project. Their project has also gone out to bid, so this area will just kind of get beat up once,
right? Yeah.
And then we'll take care of it. But we like to, so working with the city, like one of the requests was that we create a more open area under that bridge. So that's what we have done. You will see less piers and less of the substructure, so there's more open space there. We've created connections to different local roads through that shared use path. And we'll landscape that area so it looks nice. We have created there was a skate park under the bridge. Very much used. Yeah, and we worked with a committee of skateboard people that use the park, that live here. We had great meetings with them in the city, and that went extremely well. We're done with the design of that skate park. They worked with the designer, of which I believe was a California design team, but they actually have two local connections here. One of the designers actually just moved here and lives in New Bedford now. So that's a great connection there, and she'll probably be using the park that she just designed with this team. They did a phenomenal job. It was so easy working with them. They were great, and they got it's going to be an unbelievable skate park for them.
The interesting thing, we had Jen Carloni in here about 6 or 7 months ago, but she touched on the same thing that you just did, which I thought was fascinating. I didn't realize it, that when a project like this is getting done, you're getting a lot of other ancillary work done, because as you said, if everything is going to be doing, we might as well do everything once. Like, it could be Eversource coming in to do electricity or drainage or whatever. There's a lot of things that happen that, quote, aren't related to it, but if you're in the neighborhood, we're going to get everything done so we don't have to do it again.
Yes, there's a lot of coordination that goes on, especially when you're doing an urban job like this. Again, utilities have to get moved because we're doing other work, and they're going to be in our way. So they do take that chance to upgrade their systems. Gas is really great. The gas company is really great about coming in and upgrading their systems when we're doing a job like this. And they're very, very good about getting in and out, which is great for us. We need them to be moved, and they work with us very well. This job also is touching on the transmission line that's coming through New Bedford for Eversource. That's a huge project for them. They're bringing a big transmission line through the city. Their work is in the way as well for some of our work, so we've had to coordinate with them on their design and our design and make sure that everybody can fit in the streets. With the urban area, every time you open the street, it's never where they tell you it is.
Yeah.
So there's always this coordination that has to happen with the utilities. That is a very huge part of doing a job. People, to your point, they don't think about stuff like that, but the utilities can make or break a project.
Really?
Yes, it can be a delay
Yeah.
if they
Well, I
don't
would
get their
assume,
work
and
done.
as a layman, I would assume that, I mean, obviously, the bridge is one thing, but the things that are underground, they have to be done first.
Yes.
I would assume that seems logical to me, but
Yes. And so if they're not with us and doing the schedule like we planned it, and we bring them on board very early. They get the plans, they know what's going on. We've already talked to them repeatedly, and then once the job starts, they're in meetings with us. For this project, we have our own separate utility meeting after our construction meeting, because there's so many players, and everybody's got to be exactly where we tell them they have to be. Otherwise, this is not going to work.
It's a big dance for crying out loud.
It is. It's a lot of coordination, and it's a lot of, in some areas, some situations, they have to go very deep to get up under us, do things. Sometimes we have to bury them in locations like that transmission line. There's one of our pier locations that the existing line is going to have to be under one of our footings of the piers. They've actually come up with a unique design. The designers of the project came up with a unique design where they split the footing so that we're not burying them, because otherwise if something happened,
you'd have to get under there too.
They would have to get under there. And we don't like people playing with our foundations. So we've coordinated with them. They were okay with it because it's an existing line, and they're coming in with a new one. So eventually that one will be turned off. But we've worked it out. So it's a big dance. And if one of the utilities, that can become a critical path on a project. And if one of the utilities is delaying, they're not following through, we need to we got to push them. We got to make sure that they're getting their work done.
As you're on 195 itself, east or west, how long is the project? When you're talking about the bridge, is it to the Washburn Street exit, or is it? I mean, when you talk about the bridge, how big is the bridge itself?
So, it's from Mount Pleasant Street to North Front Street.
Okay.
Is the widening and reconstruction of the I-195, but we also have the ramps that we're doing. So the project limits actually go all the way from County Street to like you said, the Acushnet interchange, the Acushnet Street interchange. So
when it's completed, it's going to be...
Yes, and you have all the local streets we're doing. So
right.
Again, we're doing a lot of, because we're digging that up for drainage and utility work and substructure work, retaining walls, all kinds of things. We are replacing sidewalks, creating those shared use path connections. So there's a lot of local streets that will get repaved and reworked with bigger, better ADA compliant sidewalks.
One thing too, you guys, DOT, interestingly enough, you're not shutting it, it's not as though all the ramps are shut at the same time. They're all phased in at one point or another.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Well,
I
think
assume you have to.
We'd have to do that because we'd shut down the city.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be nice if we could come in and just literally tear the bridge out and then put it right back. And in certain areas, we can do that. Not in an area like this. We can't do that. We've all seen bridges over 128 95 where we've said, okay, everybody stay away for a weekend. And,
Right.
you know, we have done that. We've done it repeatedly, and it's worked great. We just did, I mean, a couple of years ago, we did 8 bridges on the Pike, 8 weekends. Just shut them down, ripped them out, put them back. But this job is just way too big. So the project was written so that we told everybody you have to keep traffic flowing both ways.
Right.
At all times. Yeah, will there be a couple of times where we may have to shut the whole thing down for, you know, a night or whatever? Yes, but for the whole part of the project, there will be traffic both ways.
And right
in
now,
each
it's the
direction.
closure of the 195 westbound ramp to Route 18, southbound from now until October of 2027.
Correct. So the westbound side is getting ripped down as along with the on and off ramps on that side from Route 18. And we are actually, I believe the traffic will be moving into the median. So what we did was took the median out that's between the east and west of 195, made sure it was, the joints were all done, safe, everything was good. They're paving that, and they'll switch the traffic from the westbound side into the median, and the eastbound side will stay, and then we'll start demolishing the westbound side. And I want to say that flip is happening this week or maybe next.
Does it surprise? I'm curious. You must have to know how much traffic goes on those roads or what have you. I mean, I would assume, like, based on when they were constructed originally till now, the design was just not made for the amount of traffic that you have on there right now.
No, everywhere is that way.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I think that's
And-
fascinating, really, in that, yeah, more people have cars, more people are driving, more wear and tear on these structures.
Yeah, and when you get into an urban area like this, the right-of-way that we have is pretty minimal.
What do you mean?
So State Highway always has a right-of-way that's associated with it. And in areas like other areas where we have more land or whatever, we can petition to extend our right-of-way. So we have, say we have 10 feet on either side of the roadway, and usually it's more than that. But we can petition to do that. So maybe we add a lane if we have time.
Oh, wow,
But we
okay.
can.
Yeah.
In areas like this, we cannot do that. So right-of-way is basically the bridge in this project.
Yeah.
And MassDOT has like no wiggle room. So the bridge is what the bridge is. Can we change? We can change some acceleration and deceleration lanes just by the nature of the design that we come up with. So we can get wider shoulders maybe. And then to that point, the acceleration lane coming onto the bridge, or the decel going off, just to make it a little safer for people exiting and entering the Route 195. But right-of-way lends itself to the restrictions that we have on what we can do. And because we're in an urban area, you know, there's a house right here.
Yeah.
And we don't have the right to, you know, we're not going to be able to move it.
So when it's completed, ultimately in 5 years, it's still the same amount of lanes?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. But like I said, you will see wider shoulders on the bridge, which makes it safer for people if they have to pull off. And we have made some modifications to the ramps so that we are getting better sight distances and better, longer acceleration and deceleration lanes on
And
the
people don't
bridge.
think that. I mean, the whole point too is, as you said, is to make it safer too.
Yes.
And I know, when people are heading west on I-95 and are trying to go down to Route 18, you've got people that are coming off 18 to try. I mean, at times it can be pretty hairy trying to get that last lane.
Yes. And so that was one of the things that we looked at, because the bridge structure was done way back when, to your point. Traffic wasn't that much. The rules and regs have changed.
Yeah.
As to what is safe for a decel and acceleration lanes, what is safe for a shoulder. So we are trying to bring the bridge up to standards, today's standards, to make it safer and to make sure that people have the sight distance and the stopping distance that they need to do these maneuvers. Also, you know, where pedestrians cross locations, like, those site distance things have changed. Those regulations have changed. Federal Highway is a partner on this job, so they look at their funding. The funding for this project is what we call an 80-20. So Federal Highway has got 80%, and the state of Mass owns 20% for most of the project. So they weigh in too. They have a right to say, hey, what are you doing? And so they are invited and look at all of the plans. They're at our meetings. They're a partner with us.
For people, we got 3 minutes left, but I want to give people a chance to, you a chance to tell people where to go to look for the updates, and if they have questions too. I think that's important. The website is great, lots of information on there. I mean, I printed up the plan itself, the overview, which was very helpful too. So if people have questions,
so you can definitely go into the website. I have it.
It's
right here.
Yeah,
thank you. It's long, but if you just go to the MassDOT website,
I found that easier.
Yes. It's easier that way. The project website is a long name, and it's the way we have to do things. There's also a hotline that's published on the website if you want to do that. If you have any questions or issues or anything, you can call that hotline and we'll get back to you on that.
And you guys will still be out there communicating as things change, I guess?
Yes. As things change, you'll see either a public information meeting or something will come out. Always check the website. I will tell you to check the website. Or you can also, on the website, you can sign up for email advisories, things that will be sent out, and we send those out. I think we're doing traffic advisories every couple of weeks now, just to if anything changes, we'll let you know if there's a detour, if we're working nights, whatever. We're letting you know every couple of weeks, so you can get on that email distribution list if you go to the website.
Lots of information there. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
A lot of information. Stay in touch with us as this moves ahead. I know, like I said, when we had the train coming in, I know Gene was in every now and then just saying, hey, here's where we are. People are curious, and a project this big, it's going to make a huge difference. You don't see it now, but 5 years from now, you're going to see a huge difference. It's going to be hopefully a lot easier to navigate that neighborhood.
I think it's going to be a great project for the city.
Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that's going to do it for this edition of A Conversation With. I'm Jim Marshall of the New Bedford Cable Network. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.